Welcome back, everybody, at Sport Federation TV. We keep talking about sport in the Western Cape. Before the break, we were taking a look at the Cape Town Sports Awards. Let's take a look some more.
I mean, for us who just are sports purists and sports lovers, it's great because, I mean, that's the first thing that closed down during the pandemic was sport. We quickly realized that sport is not life for those of us who are involved in it, and rightfully and wrongfully as well, but we all grew and learned, so we just blessed and just happy to be here tonight. Without a doubt. Excited, proud, all that you mentioned, but also grateful for just all the people I learned from along the way, coaches that taught me from when I was an athlete. I mean, those are the guys who laid my foundation for where I am today, and I'm still currently coaching with phenomenal coaches who are out there, people like Suzanne Ferreira, Muhammad Ali, and people like that who I look up to as a coach, and so I only strive to hopefully get better and do better by my athletes. I think, so to the youngsters out there and just people in general, I think you are capable of so much more than you can imagine, and for me that message sunk in the first time I went to a Paralympic Games in Rio, because I saw people who double amputees, blind people, and they were still living life to the fullest, still doing phenomenal things in sport that some people who have their limbs and their sight can't even fathom. And so for me, it's just don't limit yourself in terms of what you can do or what you think you can do. The sky's the limit. It sounds like a cliche, but it really is. And don't give up, just keep following your dreams.
After being cooped up for so long, all I wanted to do was just put my all into this upcoming competition that was there. So I worked, and a lot of training hours went in. Just before the competition came up, we started training 2 sessions a day. And it was just a lot of dedication, making sure my nutrition was correct, getting enough sleep, and obviously balancing between school as well and social life. I worked, is the only thing I can really say. So we had that big competition where I qualified to go compete in China, and in doing so I got my South African Confederation colours. Unfortunately, that was when there was a second wave, so the competition did get cancelled. But yeah, besides that, we then worked throughout the rest of the year for our annual competitions, so Western Cape Trials, Western Cape Championships, and then Nationals, which is where the entire country competes, and that was also so amazing. It was so nice to be able to compete again and realize why I love the sport so much. Well, I'm not going to lie, it didn't hit me until the speeches started of how amazing this opportunity was. Just to be nominated and winning it, really, it's such an honor, and it's so nice to have recognition given to all the hard work and the almost 12 years now of training that I've put in, and all that hard work and dedication. It's amazing for it to not be a virtual event. Honestly, it got to 2 o'clock and I was watching my clock. I was turning my watch. When can I start getting ready? When can I start getting ready? Because it's amazing to have some sort of normality back into the world, which I'm sure we all just crave and want to have back. The next step is the Olympics. I'm not going to lie to you, that's getting into the Olympic squad. All my competitions coming up in the beginning of the year, that trials that I have is definitely important for any sort of qualifications. But it's getting into what we call the A squad and kind of like securing my spot and being able to go to 2024. It's going to be hard, and there are going to be days, weeks, sometimes even months where you're going to feel like you just can't do it anymore. But that's the part that if you overcome, everything genuinely gets so much better. There's always that rough patch, and we're going to have hard days. But there's a quote from Gabby Douglas where it says, hard days are when champions are made, and I really agree. You just got to keep working through and make sure that you're running your own race. You don't have to compete with anyone else as long as you're happy, proud of what you're achieving and the work that you're putting in. You're going to become a superstar no matter what.
First of all, I just want to thank the people that were before us, that took the sacrifice to establish this team and stuck their guns to the vision of the club. And also I want to thank CTBA, the Cape Town Basketball Association, for nominating us for this Club of the Year or Team of the Year award. This day went unbelievably well. I'm sitting next to Jason Mitchell, who's the chairperson of CTBA, and I'm saying, "Are you sure? Did they just say Cape Town Tigers?" He's like, "Hey man, you up? Let's go." I'm like, "Okay, I'm on my way." But I just want to also recognize the sacrifices that the team has made, because we got players from all over the country and players that we've asked to come, the imports from overseas. So they sacrificed time away from home, they've sacrificed time away from family. They've sacrificed their time to actually get polished in the basketball match, and whatever is required. Sometimes we as coaches and members of management would ask the most impossible things, and these guys would just turn their backs and say, "We got you, we're gonna do it." So it's been an amazing experience. There are three things that I can think about that the CTBA is gunning for, and one of them is which is close to my heart, is to grow the sport at grassroots levels. That means that in the township, that means that in the community, that means that at the school. So if the kids want to play basketball and there's no club close to them, they must ask mom or dad or uncle or aunt to just dial up to CTBA. There's a form that they can complete in terms of how to become a member. And immediately when they get started, then the executive of CTBA immediately kicks in a process to actually try and reach out to that community and see whether they can assist them to actually formulate a club and then have them affiliate against them and then take them through the support structure. Because the league games that are organized, they're across all age groups, which means that they'll be able to be in a well-organized environment. And as for Cape Town Tigers, we will then go and fish in those clubs to see whether we can find the best talent locally grown, because then by giving experience or exposure to our locally grown talent, then we represent the best that South Africa has. Yes, we appreciate the fact that there is lineage and some kind of relative alliance with the players that are playing that we've imported. But it would be so much great to have a Xhosa speaking, Tswana speaking, Pedi speaking basketball team with some Afrikaans and Mangals and Alma Daighoed as part of the team, so that when they're out there, they can speak their slang and nobody will understand. I think we're very fortunate as a club to have had the exposure as well as the support of the international players, but I think we can do it homegrown. So it starts with those guys going to their local teachers, their PT teachers, and say, "I want to play basketball." When they push them to another sport, say, "No, I want to play basketball." Find out about CTBA, get them to come here. A representative will be available to actually tell them more about it, and we form those clubs in the local area. There's some hidden talents there. I've seen some amazing heights in some of the schools that we've been through as Cape Town Tigers, and I think we can do something. In fact, the other day we went to Peniel Primary School. We were looking at those kids there. We were like, "What grade is this kid?" They're like, grade 5. And you look at them, they're quite tall. So there's an opportunity, but guess what? They play rugby, cricket. Because the basketball is not one of the games that are being promoted in those areas because of the fact of familiarity and also the famousness of those codes. I think there's an opportunity there to actually go all the way down to the communities and grow. And with Cape Town Tigers as well as CTBA, we can do some amazing things in those communities, absolutely.
Fantastic to see the athletes in action. Of course, we'll carry on taking a look at the Sports Awards after the break. Back in a sec.